podcasts, and of course, Race Speed at the Track, among other things. Thank you guys so much for watching this newest edition of Sunday Night Lights. I'm Gray Speed Production, and remember that speed reigns supreme. And I'll see you in the next video.
Okay. Okay, for anyone that is watching, just checking to make sure I sound good and everything. Sometimes Streamlabs OBS can act really funny for me, so I just want to make sure. Garrett Baldwin, how you doing? Hello? Yeah, so as long as I get the okay, I'll go ahead and get started. I'm lost for words right now because I can't believe it. I'm just so happy, you know. It's just kind of how I feel. By the way, I'm going to show you all this fun little thing for the stream that, again, Jets Racing Designs, huge help. I had almost up to like 30 people watching that. For me anyway, that's a lot of people. So again, huge thank you for those of you watching. Just thank you. That's really all I can say right now. Oh man. So yeah, I'll go ahead and share this around, and we'll get to talking and all that fun stuff. Let's see here. No, let's not do that. There we go. Yeah, if you have any questions, guys, those of you tuning in, ask away. Seriously. Am I still streaming? Oh, thank God. I heard, like, my Windows computer go off, and I'm like, huh? What the hell? But, yeah. Alright. Like I said, man, you never know with technology. Alright. BLBL Motorsports, how you doing? Thank you. Again, thanks, guys, for tuning in. Yeah. Oh man, I loved some of your comments, like the Twix Yard 400. I can imagine Wally Dallenbach, like there are people selling merchandise for that after winning it. Just win at the Twix Yard. Oh, that is good. That's good sponsor publicity right there. So yeah, I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to talk about the video. I'm here to talk about anything that you want cleared up or what's ahead. Of course, keep in mind for future stuff, I can't give too much away. But we've already been painting cars and stuff for 1996, and I promise it's not going to take a year. So you will get 96 Sunday Night Lights next. Divide Ending, we'll get back to that. But I feel like I really owe you guys one for Sunday Night Lights, and it's... Oh man, I feel like I just made a movie. It's like an hour and 45 minutes long. BLBL, I'm doing pretty. I'm honestly, I'm doing great. I'm feeling fantastic, honestly. So it's been kind of stressful. Just through all the issues you can have. I had some issues rendering the video. So for those of you that are familiar with Vegas Pro, it was this weird thing it kept doing. It was kind of like it stops. It doesn't freeze. It doesn't crash. It just hangs. It stops at a certain percentage. I'm like, what is going on? So yeah, I had to really play around with that. I forgot. Let me post this out real quick. The lights are alive, and yes, once again, Jet kind of helped me come up with that name earlier today. It's very clever. I love it. Post-premiere stream happening now. So yeah, I'll be around for about an hour, guys. Like I said, I'm here to answer questions and whatever else, and just talk about stuff, and anything that interests you guys. So we'll go from there. Okay. Garrett, you have a question. Is Ayrton Senna still alive? If so, will he be in the 96 All-Star race? I'm going to say, for now, yes, Ayrton Senna is still alive. I've always had that idea in the back of my head. I know he hasn't jumped into NASCAR, but I'm going to say that he's still running in Formula One. That, I'd love to explore stuff like that. So yeah, it's possible. By the way, for that 96 race, it's possible. So we'll have to start planning that out. And obviously, you'll get to see that lineup here eventually. Yeah, the 96 All-Star, International All-Star Race thing, that came about when... so, back in the early 2000s, when there was bidding going on for the 2012 Olympics that eventually took place in London, several United States cities bidded for the Olympics, including my home city, Cincinnati. Cincinnati actually bidded for the Olympics once upon a time. But when Dallas submitted a bid... they were interested, there was interest in putting this international exhibition all-star race during the games at Texas Motor Speedway. So I was like, what if we did that? What if that happened? So after some talking, we decided to do that for Atlanta 96. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Will there only be one U.S. driver? I think there'll be more than one. Like I said, we need to still figure out how the formatting's going to go, since it'll be different than the usual Winston, the usual All-Star race. But, again, we'll sort that out soon. We're currently in the process of just getting all the cars painted. Went through a lot of drivers, let me tell you. But I do have a head start on that. Yeah, so 96 can be a big year, which, ironic, because that's the year I was born. But, so yeah. Pronounced Novi, by the way. Okay. But yeah. Speaking of 96, I'll talk about the lower series stuff. That's going to be really exciting. So I know some of you guys at first were like, hey, where's the truck series? This has actually been an idea. We started... Let me think. We started this whole process in 2019. We began releasing this stuff in 2020. I got a lot of, it started thanks to being locked in our homes because of that really sucky event that happened in 2020. But the lower series thing, this has been something that we've had in the works for nearly 2 years. Jet came up with the idea of developing this bigger developmental system where originally it was actually just going to be Super Sportsman and the IMSA Stock GT series. The original plan was no trucks, but after some discussions and stuff, we changed our mind. We threw the trucks in. So once again, the trucks will serve bigger intermediate tracks out west. We'll go race on dirt tracks. Super Sportsman, it's that local grassroots feel. Obviously it's going to have some competition with ARCA and other stuff, very aware of that. But it's still going to be a fun Eastern series that races primarily on short tracks. So, a lot of tracks that have been on the Busch schedule. And you'll see some changes on the Busch schedule too. I'm not going to give anything away, but you'll see some changes there. Will Schumacher be in the All-Star race? Again, very possible. It's very possible. Again, we'll just go through who we think are the right choices and all the formats, and I'd say it's possible. So, for sure. Thanks to Rudy Gobert for giving us time to do this project. Yep, pretty much. Thank you, Rudy Gobert. Thank you. So, yeah. Oh, gosh, I can't believe it's been 3 years now since this whole thing started. Yeah, there's Rose Jim, biggest truck series advocate because I wouldn't shut up about it. Okay, fair. But, yeah, and obviously that's Rose Jam, Andrew. Again, huge thanks to him. He did a great job with the new Talladega in Louisiana. Again, that's been part of that. That's been all part of the making, just constructing these new tracks, and it's been great. So really thankful for what he's done, and Jet and Ferris and everybody involved. And yeah, so the lower series, and then of course I said the stock GT series. Really excited about that one. I've been painting cars for that one lately. Really, really excited about that one. So we'll cover all that when we get there. I will definitely work to give you guys updates as we progress. Again, I'd like to get 96 out here when I can, obviously. Of course, I do have a job and all that fun stuff too. Excuse me. But seriously, I've been thinking so much lately about Sunday Night Lights down the road, especially when I get to 2000, because that's coming close. What's everything going to look like by the dawn of the 21st century, and how I want to do things. And I got some ideas for sure. And again, I'm a while away from that. We're a bit ways from that, but still, it's never bad to have a bunch of ideas. Like, I've written down so many different ideas, and some of them happen, some of them don't. It just depends on how the races happen sometimes. The biggest thing that's been really exciting is the female movement. Patty Moyes, she got that upset cup win, and then we were like, okay, well, let's give her a good bush ride and see what happens. And she did really well, and she moved up to cup. Now she's among one of the best. And it's really cool to see. And not only that, and then here comes Shauna Robinson. She comes in, wins, starts doing well, wins the 93 championship, wins the 94 Daytona 500. Let me tell you, when I did that race, I just sat there and went, no shot. No shot. Am I really going to have Shauna Robinson win the Daytona 500? And it happened. Which, you know what? That's really cool, because, that's something that in real life now, we dream about this. And this happened in the 90s. So that makes me wonder, how is that going to benefit NASCAR? It's going to benefit NASCAR a ton going down the road. It's going to benefit them so much. Because, there's a lot of good drivers. There hasn't been like that one really, really good, like Jimmy Johnson 06 to 10 kind of driver. Rusty Wallace is probably the closest one right now, back-to-back champion. It's kind of ironic. I see that 2 car, and I was at the race at Gateway recently, and he actually paced the field in that same exact car. So that made me think, like, if I can't tell you what's gonna happen track-wise with tracks and stuff. I'm not gonna give much away, but let's say Gateway gets a cup race. That's gonna be a big deal because Rusty being a 3-time champion, Kenny Wallace winning a major race, the Brickyard 400. That's a big deal. So that's really cool. And of course, their brother Mike is still in the Busch Series. So, oh my gosh, it's been so cool, especially with the female movement. Because an idea, and I think Rose Jam gave me this idea early on. It's like, hey, what if Kelly Earnhardt, pursued a NASCAR career? Because I read an article, it was from like 2012, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. talked about how Kelly was actually even better. Like, she was really good. And, the reason that her career didn't progress forward was mainly because of, the climate of things, the economics and stuff like that. But because now there's this female movement, now that Patty Moyes and Shauna Robinson have practically opened the door for something like this to happen, this is going to give Kelly Earnhardt a better opportunity to go thrive in NASCAR. So we still shaped it to where she's still focused on her schoolwork, and I'm sure she'd want to do that. So she's focused on that. That's what she's doing. And then afterwards, she's like, okay, 96 when I graduate, I'll run the full schedule, and let's go kick some butt. So a lot of interesting things are going on. The next thing I'll talk about is Jeff Gordon. I want to say, realistically, he's doing fine. Yeah, 2 wins. He won at Sonoma, which I pointed out in the live chat, which, by the way, you guys were awesome in the live chat tonight. Like, seriously, it was so fun just talking to everybody and getting to interact. That was so much fun. And seeing your all's reactions. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I can be an emotional basket case sometimes, and I about teared up a little bit when you guys got so thrilled to see Shauna win. That just, I'm really proud, especially that Daytona 500 call. I'm really proud of that. As someone who's actually had sports commentary in his past, I've done like commentary for high school sporting events over the last few years. So it's come in handy. Oh, man. So, yeah, Jeff Gordon. Let me see here. Jets Racing Design. Oh, yeah. As Alex and I have talked about, there's so much room to do with the female drivers because we've never seen anything like this in any sport in real life. And started by complete chance. Exactly. All it took was Patty Moyes getting a complete upset win. And I am going to actually load up my Google Doc that has what I basically have some personal docs to keep track of everything. And I actually have an entire doc of all the winners and stuff from 81 to currently 95. So I want to check to make sure because Patty did win a cup race sometime, I want to say, yeah, Michigan 1989, the second Michigan race. That's where it all started. And so we were like, okay, well, we need to give her an opportunity. She won a cup race. We just can't leave that alone. Considering, a female winning a cup race, that's massive. So, again, we were just like, okay, we feel like that, Felix Sabates, Sauco Racing, that could be a good fit. And so by 91, she finished second in the points to Jeff Gordon, who, of course, was back-to-back Busch Series champion in 91, 92. And, of course, I'm going to get back to Jeff Gordon. But, yeah, like Jet said, it's opened up so much for more drivers to have an opportunity. And that's what's going to be fun about this, especially when we introduce the lower series. We're going to give so many drivers an opportunity. And at that point, let's see what happens, Like I said, the drivers that we've grown up and watched over the years in this timeline may not be the stars, or they may be, or in a different capacity. So much can happen, right? So, going back to Jeff Gordon, realistically, he's doing fine. Yeah, 2 career wins. 93, he was very solid. He had quite a few occasions where he probably should have won a race, like the Daytona Road Course one that was in the video. 94, he got the win at Sonoma. Fun fact, I mentioned this, Jeff Gordon took the points lead after that. So I remember after that race, I went, ooh, is Jeff going to win in his second year? And unfortunately, second half of 94, he just had some really bad luck. And he ended up finishing 11th in points when really he shouldn't have. But sometimes it just happens. He just had some bad luck. 95, he did a lot better. So yeah, and again, keep in mind, Bill Davis Racing, practically a new team, right? Unless you get those rare occasions like Trackhouse, right? It doesn't happen overnight. Even though, yes, Bill Davis Racing has a ton of funding from Ford. They have a ton of funding from Ford, and they have McDonald's, so it helped them be better. And let me tell you guys, one of the things I really looked forward to was where was Jeff Gordon gonna go? We could have put him at Hendrick. We had all sorts of options. We discussed for days to figure out where we wanted to put Jeff Gordon. And we just settled on Bill Davis, Gives an opportunity to potentially have another team come in as an eventual powerhouse. I think Bill Davis and Jeff Gordon are doing fine. I think Ford's pretty content. Let's see. If you need proof that things can dramatically change over time, one of my NBA 2K history teams saw Vince Carter become the undisputed greatest of all time. Exactly. You never know. Kevin LePage could be a cup champion. You never know. I love when some people actually commented how cursed the timeline is. You know what? Yeah, you're going to get that. When we've done, 15 seasons, which we're really proud of. I definitely want to continue on. I want to get into the 2000s. I want to get into the 2010s and get to present day. It's a grind. It is. But the fun thing about all this is just getting to rewrite racing history. And that's what the new hashtag we have is rewrite racing history. Because that's what we're doing here. We are rewriting history because it's something fun to explore. It's fun when you see something happen and go, okay, so because A happens, then B happens. Or, okay, so what does this mean if this happened? Like, Patty Moyes, she won a cup race. What does this mean? Look what it's become. You know, now we got this female revolution, and honestly, it's going to put NASCAR in a really damn good shape going into the 21st century. So, yes, please, that hashtag, please use it. Again, I encourage others to do this too, you know. I know Griff Dog kind of started it, and I'm really thankful for him. He's been a huge influence for all this, and, you know, I'd like to see what you guys can come up with too, even if it's something small, like what if Davey Allison was still alive, or what if Tim Richmond was still alive, you know, stuff like that, or, you know, what if Spingate never happened, stuff like that. But yeah, Jeff Gordon's doing fine. You know, he's about where I expected. I'm really curious to see how he and Bill Davis continue to develop going into the second half of the 90s. Really excited for that. Definitely am excited. So yeah, Ricky, and we've had some different champions, you know. Earnhardt's only a 3-time champion, 80, 86, and 89. Rusty Wallace being a 3-time champ, 88, 94, and 95. Then you have some interesting ones. Mark Martin. Mark Martin's a champion, 1990, 1991. That was a wild one, because Ricky Rudd almost had it. And Davey Allison, who was struggling at Robert Yates Racing, Bobby Allison retires, starts his own team, brings his son in to try and help him out, and then Davey's like, all right, I'm feeling good. And then he just wins the championship. So that was wild. That was definitely wild. But Davey's finally coming into his own. He's finally coming into his own a little bit. He's winning some races now. And I'm really intrigued to see how Clifford does, because I think somewhere Davey actually said way back when that he felt like Clifford would have been better. So, we'll see. I have a wild dock, but I don't know how I would videofy a sheet. Well, you know. You never know. You can always use the power of painting cars in NR 2003, for sure. That's what's fun, too, is coming up with all these cars and everything else. I did add the links to the video, so the results, the standings, the cars, all there. As always, just make sure you give credit. Yeah, so... Whew, so much has occurred. Yeah, the 95 Busch Series season, that was a wild season. I mean... Rodney Combs winning at Daytona, and then having actually, for like 2/3 of the season, a pretty solid season, and just kind of fell off at the end, but still not too bad. And even though he's like 45 years old, I think. But that championship battle was fun. I mean, that was so much fun. You know, I was sitting there going, well, you know, David Green could probably take it home, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen. He got into a wreck, and when that happened, I went, uh-oh. As I was doing the race, I just sat there and went, uh-oh. Who's winning the championship now? And, you know, I went into score 4. You know, I generated it, hit generate, and then I clicked on it, and I was like, wow, 1 point. Casey Elliott's a champion. And he didn't win any races. That's the more wild part. So he pulled a 2019 Matt Crafton, except this is the original point standings, of course, that a lot of people love. So... that's been crazy. And Casey Elliott being a not cup champion. I mean, he could be, right? He could be at some point. Busch Series champion. You know, that's got to make Bill happy. So, it's really cool to get to see these guys like, you know, Casey Elliott, Rob Moroso, Alan Kawicki, Davey Allison, Clifford Allison, Rodney Orr. List goes on and on. See how these guys thrive if, you know, their lives were not cut short. And that's something we will continue to explore as well as other things. One of the things that surprised me the most also was Dale Jarrett just struggling. You know, I was not expecting that. I mean, I was kind of trying to figure out 95 silly season with the other guys, and we just went, okay, well, let's just give Jarrett one more year and see what happens. And, yeah, it didn't go well. So... we'll figure him out for 96, and be interesting to see how Terry Labonte does, because he's got a stake in Joe Gibbs Racing. He's got his Busch Series team. you know. So what does that mean down the road? You know, as that team's kind of now under the Joe Gibbs banner, hopefully it gives that team some life. You know, for them to DNQ races with Dale Jarrett like that, I mean, this is a team that supposedly is supposed to win a championship in 5 years, right? In real life, anyway. So, you know, just something to talk about. What else? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'll talk about the rebrand a little bit, the background graphics. Yeah, we wanted to just give it a fresh new look since this has been like a year in the making. Hence, I brought up the rewrite racing history thing. You know, and, these graphics and renders, just a huge thanks to Jets Racing Designs for all his help on this. Yeah, so it's just being able to rewrite racing history and explore all the different possibilities and endless opportunities that there are for anyone, really. You know, someone could do something similar to this and have completely different results. It's absolutely possible. You know, it's absolutely possible. So we just wanted to give it, you know, a new look, and it's really turned out very well. We're really happy with it. Again, these graphics are incredible. The renders too. And I will say that I'm glad about the improvement in quality. You know, I finally decided, okay, let's really make this a good one. Let's start using FreeCam more. Let's make the graphics better. And that's what I did. And it really came out well. Because back in November, I bought a PC. Right now, I am on my laptop doing this. But my PC is next to me. And I use it for iRacing, but I use it for other things too. And at times, I have NR 2003 on both computers. And occasionally, I will run 2 races at once, just to kind of up the production a little bit, right? So that's been a big help to all this. And again, just being able to get into... Sorry, I had a brain fart. Just, you know, being able to produce this and really bring out a good product, because I really decided, you know, this is, if we're gonna do this, let's make this look good. And I'm really happy with how all of it came out, and we're gonna continue to do that moving forward. Let's see. I'll talk about what's next. I do have a Racing Infinity video planned. The reason why I didn't make one in a while is simply because I was focused on this video and getting it out. So that was my number one focus. Obviously, I know I've had some podcasts. We'll still do those. Me and Michael will be doing those. Gray Speed at the Track. That's been a fun series to put together starting this year. We'll continue doing more of those when I can in terms of what races I'll be going to. I can confirm that I am planning on doing the entire Indy NASCAR weekend. So that'll be fun. But yeah, you know, we're going to get to work on 96 Sunday Night Lights and continue to expand the timeline and go on and see what else happens. I'm really excited to continue it. You know, I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, if you have any questions about what's going to happen, again, I'll do the best I can to answer without giving away spoilers. You know, for example, right now I can't tell you where Jimmy Johnson or Tony Stewart are going to go. Obviously, it's fun to think about, but I just can't answer that question. I just have to see where the cards lay. I have to see where everything is played out. Because I just boot up NR 2003 and I run the races. I don't touch them. They just, whatever happens, happens. You know, and of course the cars are rated. But yeah, that's the whole deal there. So really excited for 96. Really excited. What else do I want to bring up? Obviously the new tracks I mentioned earlier. We did tease Louisiana for 92. Again, Rose Jam did a really, really good job with that. Louisiana's been a fun track. That's a fun little track. And it's fun to explore possibilities like that, like going to these bigger markets, right? You know, it's going, because we had it to where Tom Benson, the owner of the New Orleans Saints, comes in and was like, hey, let's bring NASCAR to NOLA, you know, and putting the track in nearby in Baton Rouge and stuff like that, right? So, so yeah, and of course the new Talladega. That one has been in the works for a while. When we came up with the Super Speedway Disaster, that was always part of the plan. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we got to touch up the visuals on those tracks, but, you know, again, he's done an amazing job. Like, seriously, I really, really love how we've been putting this together and throwing in this idea of, you know, different kind of tracks that you wouldn't expect. So that's been really fun. Again, I just really love what we have going here. So, yeah, exactly. The stream background, yeah, I love it. I keep looking at it the entire time as I have Streamlabs open, just watching the cars fade in and out like that. It's really cool. It's I really like it. So, oh man, I need a drink. Give me a second here. Been talking so much. Ugh. All right, that's better. Whew. Yeah, so feel free to ask away if you guys have any questions or whatnot. Trying to think to see what else I can talk about. I'm trying to think about what else happened throughout the video. But yeah, overall, I mean, gosh, I felt like I just made a movie. Again, I mean, it was an hour and 45 minutes. I looked at this as I was like, am I going to be able to get this video to render? So, and yeah, you know, again, the new PC I brought up, I made that whole video on this new PC, Vegas Pro 18. I had a couple occasions where, again, the rendering did not want to be nice to me, but we got it figured out. But, you know, been really big on the last several weeks, especially just getting it all completed and make sure it's looking good. You know, we all kind of chipped in and did our part, you know. So it's been a fun group effort. Whew. Man, I'm still just speechless, you know. I just, it made me happy just to see how many people tuned in for that. Which, you know, it makes me feel good because, you know, 30 people in a premiere for me is like a lot of people. And it makes me really excited, you know. So, again, a huge thank you to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can you reveal what the next Racing Infinity will be? Jet, if you're still listening, feel free to DM me. Should I? Because, well, I'll tease it. I'll say that it's a little different. It's a little bit unique. It's just this goofy idea I had in the back of my head, and I went, hey, this could be a lot of fun to see what would happen if I put these guys together and put them on this track. It's just a random idea I had. I think it was a shower thought I felt like when having this next Racing Infinity idea. So all I need to do is finish rating all the cars and tell them the track, but don't tell them the roster. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what the cars or the drivers will be just yet, because again, it's going to be a little wild. But I will tell you the track. I'm going to be using... Do you remember when they turned the Daytona backstretch into a short track? The UNOH Battle of the Beach, I think it's called. I'm going to be using that track. So that's going to be in the next Racing Infinity. We're going to use that track. So I got it all mapped out, and I'll be working on that. Hopefully I'll get it out within the next week or so, hopefully. And continue to practice. My thing, too, is continuing to practice to use stuff like, what is it called? FreeCam. Took me a minute. Continuing to use FreeCam and with the graphics and stuff like that, you know. Because what's great about having Racing Infinity, is these many things to explore, but also, you know, it helps being able to give you guys something while the bigger projects are still being worked on. The 1996 Twix Yard 400. Seriously, I love that. The Twix Yard. Wally Dallenbach wins at the Twix Yard. That is so clever. I love that so much. The other comment, I think BLBL made the comment too. He said, make some noise for Patty Moyes. I was like, how come I didn't think of that? That's clever. I like that. I love goofy stuff like that. But yeah, Wally Dallenbach winning at the Twix Yard. Dallenbach's done pretty decent. You know, he only has one career win. I mean, heck of a place to get your first career win, Indianapolis, right? You know, it's kind of like Paul Menard in real life, right? Only cup win was the 2011 Brickyard 400. Hey, if you're going to get one win, it might as well be something like the 600 or the Brickyard or the Daytona 500, right? Well, I need to talk about the Daytona 500 because we've had some interesting winners, you know. Morgan Shepherd won it in 90. Dick Trickle won it in 89. Eddie Bierschwell in 91. That's why you still see him with the Stavola Bros. And he's gotten a few wins. So that's pretty cool to see. And seeing his career expand past what it did in real life and see how he does. So that's really cool to see. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, anything can happen. You got guys like Eddie Bierschwell who win the Daytona 500. And like they always say, right? You win the Daytona 500. It doesn't just change your career. It changes your life, right? It changes a lot for you. And then, of course, 93, Joe Nemechek winning it his rookie year. 94, Shauna Robinson. Oh, my God. And then, 95 was Earnhardt. And that's been interesting. Earnhardt now with 3 Daytona 500 wins. That's been something. Earnhardt is still, to me, in this timeline, one of the most popular and successful drivers still. But, you know, he doesn't have 7 titles. He only has 3, which has been interesting. Like I said, Mark Martin, he's a Cup champion. Won it with Bud Moore. Ricky Rudd's a Cup champion. Terry Labonte has 2 championships. Well, I will not ever forget 87, what happened there when Jeff Bodine took out Dale Earnhardt when Jeff Bodine and Terry Labonte were teammates. And I remember making the joke. I said, did team orders just happen? So that was funny. And it's fun because, like, moving ahead, there's a lot of these guys that I think can win a championship. I think Kyle Petty could win another championship. I think Patty could win a championship. Jeff Gordon certainly can. Maybe, you know, Rob Moroso certainly could. Maybe Kawecki or Nissen still have a shot. There's a lot of good drivers in the Cup Series right now that are capable of winning. And I'm really curious to see how these younger guys especially develop. You know, guys coming up like Kenny Wallace, the Burton brothers, and, you know, and the future. Guys like, eventually you might see, you know, Casey Elliott. You know, see how he does. The Twix Yard and Make Noise for Patty Moyes. Yeah. I really love those. Those were good. The Future SNL. Adam Petty debuts in the DuPont Super Sportsman Series. I can't say much about Adam Petty, but I'm going to say that he's going to be interesting. I think he's going to be really interesting, and he's going to have a lot of hype. More hype than in real life. Considering that, you know, Kyle Petty has a lot more momentum on his side than in real life. He's got a good amount of wins. He has a championship. A couple IROC championships. I mean, he's got a lot going for him. Savco Racing, man, they've become a powerhouse. They've become an interesting team. They got a good 3-car organization with Kyle Petty and then Patty Moyes and Shauna Robinson. Shauna, on and off her rookie year, you know, kind of expected, right? You know, sure, she won the 500. You know, she almost won it again in 95. There's still a lot of room for her to improve and become a really good driver. And I think Shauna can become a really good driver still. I mean, I'll say this. She won-upped Patty. She has a championship in the Busch Series and a Daytona 500. Patty doesn't have any of those. Patty's still good, though. She has some wins. She won the 600. You know, she's got a good amount of wins. So, gosh, man, so much can happen, you know. Really, really excited. 96 and beyond. It's going to be fun. So, yeah, SNL 96 will be next. After that will probably be the next Divided Ending video. You know, again, subject to change. we'll definitely cover 1920, maybe 21. And then I'm thinking after that, then we'll cover 97 to 99 for SNL, for Sunday Night Lights. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning. Again, things can subject to change, obviously, so that's just kind of what I have in the back of my mind. But yeah, going to guys like Adam Petty, he's gonna be interesting, and I think a lot of hype's gonna be around him, for sure. So I'm really excited when he comes up, and really excited about Kelly Earnhardt too, and Tammy Jo Kirk. The Busch Series is rapidly becoming a big developmental circuit, and to me, that started with Jeff Gordon being a back-to-back champion. It's kind of like, whoa. So I was sitting there going, well, he's already got more hype than he already has. So again, I feel like Jeff Gordon realistically is doing fine. It's about where it's expected for a growing team like Bill Davis. And Bill Davis Racing's doing good. It's kind of interesting right now because with General Motors, because they got Chevy and Pontiac, you got RCR already, you got Sabco, you got Hendrick. Ford, on the other hand, has some good amount of decent teams. Bud Moore, who's won a championship relatively recently. You got Robert Yates Racing with a young guy like Bobby Labonte. You got Gina Johnson's team. They're in a bit better of shape than in real life. 95 they had Ernie Irvin and Sterling Marlin. Alan Kowicki's obviously there. Of course, Bill Davis. And then Penske. Penske's probably that top team, So yeah. Will Richie and Mark Petty have better careers than in real life? Anything can happen, I will say Richie did make the Daytona 500 on a couple of occasions for this video. You might have seen that white number 53 car. Excuse me. But, yeah, anything's possible, Oh, man, if only I could tell you guys the driver lineups we have for the lower series. I'm not going to give anything away, but the three really good lineups. And I think you guys are going to be blown away. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but 96 is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to 96. Oh, man. Been looking forward all day to this, man. Just waiting to get off work. I'm like, all right, man, I got this premiere and everything. How long will the next video take? It depends. Like I said, right now, we do have a lot of cars painted. We still need to get some more painted. Hopefully, and I'll let you guys know, by the way. I'll make some posts on YouTube and Twitter just like, hey, I have races going now. And just keep you guys updated. So I don't really have a timeline of how things will go, but I will say that 96 is technically in production now. So we have gotten a head start. So for sure. Alex is Carrie Underwood waiting all day for Sunday night. That's right, waiting all day for Sunday Night Lights. All right. Imagine Team Sabco buys out Richard Petty's team to make a championship powerhouse. 40, 42, 43, 45. Hey, anything's possible, right? Anything's possible. I know Richard Petty's team's kind of struggled, They've had John Andretti. They've had, which I just realized, John Andretti at Petty. That's a pretty good combo there. And then they had Derek Cope. But yeah, we had the idea, too, of like, hey, what if Richard Petty, after he retired, decided to, try and do some part-time races, do short tracks, do some of the new tracks, too. Like I said, he attempted the Brickyard 400. He still wants to do that, stuff like that. And what about guys like Jason Jarrett and Kelly Byers? Oh, man, I haven't heard those two names in a while. Yeah, again, certainly possible. They'll probably show up at some point down the road and see how they do, And again, that's what's going to make all this fun, is seeing how all these drivers shape up, how they all net out, Is it possible that different drivers become stars than in real life? There's a lot of what ifs I'd like to do. It just depends if it's possible to do them, of course. So yeah, I'll definitely say that. I'll definitely say that for sure. Let's see. So yeah, we'll have IMSA Stock GT, Super Sportsman, Trucks, IROC, Busch, Cup. Man, that is 6 different racing series we are covering. That's crazy. But yeah, we're definitely gonna continue IROC too, because I definitely would eventually like to continue IROC beyond. I definitely like to continue IROC beyond 2006 for sure. Speaking of Kelly Earnhardt, Kelly. Oh, cool. Okay, that's awesome. As a 2023, what if Dale Earnhardt's still alive been scrapped? I know I did it for 2021 and all that. I might eventually get back to it. I just have some bigger focuses right now. Like I said, I already have Sunday Night Lights and a divided ending. So, just focus on those for now. But, never say never. Never say never. Can we get street course racing when we get to 96 or later? I mean, anything's possible. I can't necessarily say what'll happen with the schedule. But, anything's possible, right? Anything's on the table. We have all sorts of different ideas and possibilities of what the schedule could shape out and look like. And we'll continue to discuss that too. Really excited to see the Cup Series go to Chicago, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. And again, you never know. Maybe in this timeline they go to a street course sooner. Well, it's just kind of wait and see kind of thing. See what happens. That's all I can say right now. So, like I said, I actually do have a 96 schedule laid out that we're going to look over and make sure, are we good with this kind of thing. Again, no spoilers. Shh. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, I'll continue going for about another 13 minutes or so, and I'll go ahead and hop off here. So I'll still be around. Again, a huge thanks to you guys for tuning in. I'm glad there's been a lot of excitement. There's been a lot of hype. Makes us all feel good. And seriously, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. So be sure to share it around if you can, and spread the hashtag Rewrite Racing History. All right. So yeah, I'm open for any kind of questions and stuff like that. Hey, Michael, rewrite the 2011 Coca-Cola 600. Yes, how it should be. Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning that race. That's how it should be, right? I'll never forget how depressed I was that night, man. I'll never forget how depressed I was. I was like, why? It's been 3 years. Why do we have to keep suffering like this? Because he had that 4-year drought where he didn't win a Cup race. So those are pretty dark times as a junior fan. But yeah, that would be cool. Because I know there's been some guys who have done that and actually are able to accurately set up how the finish happened. I don't know how entirely to do that, but that would be fascinating. Of course, I know Griff Dog had the let me see, redacted, rewrite the 2011 Indy 500 and Coke 600 National Guard double. Yeah, rewrite the 2015 Talladega Fall race while we're at it. Ah, yes, that race. Yeah. Yeah, I was not happy about that one back then. I'm not gonna lie, and this is just my opinion. Junior should have won that race. That's just my opinion. I had a funny nickname for that race, but I'm trying to remember what it was. What was it? I don't remember. I had a funny name for it. Maybe it'll pop up in my head later. It was something Gate, obviously, because... No, wait, it wasn't. Oh, yeah. Now I remember. Because I referenced it off of the Montreal screw job in WWE. The Talladega screw job. Because I still think Junior got screwed. Junior did win that race. Yeah, I don't know. What sucked about that race was they decided, we're going to, they changed the overtime rules to only one green, white, checkered, right? And it's like, okay, it's an elimination race at Talladega, and the most popular driver is in a situation where he may get eliminated, and I think out of that, the worst case scenario happened. Because, if Harvick hadn't spun that second time, Junior would have won, and he would have been the championship for it with that win at Phoenix. I remember watching that race with a lot of anxiety and just sitting there going, are you kidding me? Because, the first restart, they didn't even get to the start-finish line. They crashed. And then the second one, that wreck happened. It's like, we didn't even get a fair finish, I felt like, I remember coming home from Florence Speedway and thinking, what BS? Yeah. A lot of upset Junior fans that day for sure. Although, I will say I really do appreciate Junior's class after that, because he just stood there and went, well, if we had done better the first two races, we wouldn't have been in this situation to begin with. Which, he is right. I'm like, as upset as I was, I'm like, okay, well, you're right. You're right. So, yeah. Imagine Junior wins 3 races in 2015. Daytona, Dega, and then the Phoenix race. Oh, man. I can only dream now of Junior being a champion. Yeah, that's right. He won the Coke 0400 when Dylan had that really, really scary crash into the catch fence. Yeah, he would have swept the Talladega races. Good point. Right? Yeah. Yeah, because 14 was the 500, the 2 Pocono races in Martinsville. And I know that Martinsville race meant a lot to him. And then, yeah. Yep, that's right. I did not think that Phoenix race was going to be his last win, man. But, I was actually at that Michigan race in 16, the wreck that triggered that concussion, and I was at Kentucky in 16 when that was his final race of that season. I actually had to leave that race 40 laps ago because I was not feeling great, and I threw up twice before I got home. So yeah, that I knew I wasn't feeling well. That was a rough night. Do not drink a ton of Cokes out in the summer heat. Don't do it. I don't advise it. Oh, yeah, the Daytona. Yeah. I was too, because I was happy Junior won. Then I saw Dylan's car, went, oh my God, is he okay? Because even Junior was celebrating. Junior was like, oh my God. It's like, oh my God. I just remember hearing his radio. Dale won a Jeff Gordon Raceway. Get it right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Phoenix renamed the Jeff Gordon Raceway. That I forgot. MIS this year? Let's do it. I have been debating Michigan. I'd like to go back there. I really love Michigan. I love that track. I'd like to get back up there. It's like a 4-hour drive. I could certainly do it. I have the weekend off for it, so I definitely would like to do it if possible. Great. Now I'm thinking of that meme of what's his name? Oh my God, how did I forget his name? Oh, jeez. Okay. I guess I really am exhausted from all this. Just a ding. Michigan! And then he, like, disappears. Da-da-da-da. That's what it made me think of. I'll be racing at South Bend the night before, so... Yeah, you're going to be a lot closer. You live in Indy now. It's a lot easier for you, Michael. So many 2015 what-ifs, like if Jeff Gordon pulled the impossible of retiring as champion. Oh, man, dude, I'm not going to lie. Even as a junior fan, I was pulling for Jeff. I really wanted Jeff to go out as a champion, and it just didn't work out that way. But it would have been really cool to see that if that had worked out. So, but Kyle Busch was just lightning hot when he came back from that injury. It's crazy, you know. He broke his leg to begin at Daytona and missed a good chunk of races, and then comes back and wins a ton. I remember being at Kentucky when he won that race and just going, man, is anybody going to stop him? So, yeah. John went crazy after he won at Martinsville. I can imagine. Dude, I remember I came back from some, I turned on the race, and all I saw was a wrecked 20 car and then the wrecked 22 car, and I went, oh, no. Kenseth actually did it, that mad lad. And that's what led to Gordon winning. And I admit, I was cheering for Jeff. If Junior wasn't going to win, I wanted Jeff to win. Just because, you know, at that point I had so much respect for him. And, you know, for him to be able... and oh, I'm sure the fans went ballistic. I would have too if I was there. So, and I remember Jeff was like a little kid when he was celebrating. We're going to Homestead. So that was cool to see. Just looking back on that, man, that's awesome. I can't believe that was 8 years ago. My God. 2015. I just finished high school and I was starting college. Oh, man. Time flies too fast, man. It really does. You know, I know me and my dad went to a few races in 2017 for Junior's final season. That was our Dale. We called it our Dale Junior Retirement Tour. Michigan, Kentucky, and Chicagoland. I went to Chicagoland for the first time. Okay. All right, I'll do a couple more minutes here, and again, some final thoughts. Let's see, Rip Chicagoland. That was one of my favorite tracks to go to when traveling with ARCA. Yeah, that was the first Cup race I ever watched on TV back in '04. Was Chicagoland. And of course, all those races I went to at Kentucky as well. But yeah, last couple minutes here. Again, just a huge thanks to everybody for tuning in. It's been a year in the making, and it's so good to finally have this out. And 96 is in the works, so we'll get that out for you. We'll keep you guys updated on what's going on and all that fun stuff. Again, huge thanks to Ferris for helping out with rating the cars and among other things too. Rose Jam Princess for his track edits, and he also made Patty Moyes' car. Loved how that car came out. Kind of ironic too, since the Barbie movie's coming out. So, really beautiful paint scheme there. And of course, Jets Racing Designs. He made cars. The graphics and renders you see here, and the other things too, and all three of them. And of course, the thanks to the influence from Griff Dog. Chicagoland is being used. Yeah, it's going to have a motocross race at some point here. Yeah. So, and lastly, of course, once again, huge thanks to you guys. Excuse me. A huge thanks to you guys. it's been a long wait, but I'm glad you guys said it was worth it, and I think it was. So I really loved how this all came out, and there's going to be more. Can Kentucky have a motocross date? I'd be fine with that. I mean, as long as it's anything, right? I don't care if it's ARCA. Barbie or Oppenheimer? Which movie are you seeing on July 21st? Why not Paul? I don't know why, but like, I almost broke into like a Beavis and Butthead voice because I've been doing their voices for like the last few days now. Because I've seen like a bunch of clips like, Beavis? What, Butthead? Like, what movie should we see? Or something like that. If they get her ARCA race, let me see. They get an ARCA race on. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Love to. Yeah, and huge shout out to Michael Klein here. He got to test an ARCA car recently, which is pretty awesome. So hopefully he'll be making his first ARCA start here soon. We'll be having a podcast here soon too. Stay tuned for that. I'll probably talk a little bit more about this too at some point. Yeah, it's been going on for about an hour and a minute now, so I'll go ahead and start wrapping things up here. Again, share the video around, share the hashtag around. Let's rewrite racing history together. It's been a lot of fun putting all this together. And again, I'm thankful to all you guys for watching these, for watching this. And again, there's more to come. So stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll keep you guys in the loop on what's going on. More content to come. Racing Infinity, Gray Speed at the track, and stuff like that too. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, so that'll about do it here. Thank you guys for tuning into this stream. Again, feel free to comment on my posts on here or ask on Twitter if you have any questions. So thank you guys so much once again, and I'll see you guys very soon. So full speed ahead. Absolutely. Just like the outro music. Full speed ahead. That's going to be the plan here. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you all next time.